Hello and welcome back to my channel. On today's Hot Topics, we are going to discuss Muller and the Muller report / the Russia investigation / his testimony. There's a lot to unpack, especially in just a Muller report by itself. I myself have read about 85% of it. It is quite a hard and long read. I have been reading it since it came out. I do have multiple copies. I have a copy on my phone. I have the audio copy. It's just not as easy to go through and understand. Sometimes I have to read stuff and look things up. But I am going to do a whole video breakdown on that with notes and everything, probably in the upcoming week or two. But I want to get it right when I do it. So that could just give me some time on that. And I'll have my opinions and thoughts on the actual report itself. But today I want to talk about his testimony, because I think that can be just as important as his actual report. I want to start with the reason Donald Trump looks like he's going around doing the victory dance, and he had like this great day after he testified. He was flipping out this morning and how he feels a lot better today. Well, there's a couple of reasons for that. He values appearance more than he values what someone's actually saying, and Mueller looks tired and old and just like he's over it. I don't think he's a big fan of the attention. I don't think this is something he wanted to do. I think had he known the amount of attention that this would permanently bring on him and his family, I'm not entirely sure if he would have done it, to be honest. I think that it took on a life of its own, and I don't think that's where he expected it to go. But once he started, he really didn't have a choice but to continue, and I kind of actually feel bad for him in that way. But we're going to talk about some of the things that were actually talked about in the investigation, or in the testimony today. I want to start with the whole Michael Flynn thing. Michael Flynn was very, very clearly compromised on several instances by Russia and Turkey and other places where he had made financial deals in exchange for campaign information. And he traded campaign information 4 times with Russia on individual states and things like that, which they then turned around, and it didn't come out and say this, but you can put 2 and 2 together, which was then turned around and used with Russian troll farms. And the one thing, I've read the first half of the Mueller report, and I can tell you the one thing that is definitely in that report over and over and over again to an alarming degree is how much Russia actually interfered with the 2016 election. They were responsible for a lot of the memes that you saw, like coal miners for Trump, and a lot of these fake accounts that would be like real pretty girls for Trump, or like older firefighters for Trump. All these little things that were there were Russian troll farms spreading memes, and then they would go through Twitter and they would spread it and would make it to Facebook and things like that. And people to this day, I'm like 90% sure Russia is still doing this, and no one's doing anything about it. But Russia made these memes that were meant to originally divide and kind of like cause the animosity we've got going on. You're either a lefty or a righty, or you're, Republican or Democrat. Like, they're pushing that narrative. They're pushing us to fight each other, because if we're fighting each other, we're not paying attention to them and what they're doing to us. And that's kind of a big deal. These troll farms are millennials and people our age that are watching our television, learning our culture, and then putting out these massive amount of memes that are not true, that make no sense, that are meant to piss you off, that are meant to be a bad thing. And over again in this report, you can see where Russia has done that systematically. And then we have to talk about the hacking of the DNC now, and WikiLeaks. There are several instances where it looks like the Trump campaign knew, participated in, and helped disseminate that information. Now, people are going to say, well, they don't have, in conclusion, they don't have proof that Trump did this. I'm going to go off of what I read and my own thoughts on this. So this is just me putting things together. This is not fact. This is my opinion. But here's what I think. I think that, yes, there were members of the Trump campaign that were in contact with Russia. You have Roger Stone, who was in communication with WikiLeaks, which is still under investigation. That is why Mueller couldn't talk about it today, because that whole connection is still under investigation and looks like it could go to trial. Because if you actually look at the Mueller report, there are several things that are blocked out that are ongoing cases. This is not over yet. Some stuff was handed to DC, not DC. Yeah, I think some stuff was handed to DC, but some stuff was handed to New York. Some stuff was handed, I think some stuff was handed to DC. I'd have to look at the actual report. And some stuff is still being investigated with the FBI. And when you have an ongoing investigation, Mueller cannot talk about it. And the Republicans knew that. And they used that, and they tried to use that to trip him up, which is ridiculous. But that's not the point. So, the whole, like, we have Donald Trump on tape asking Russia to hack the DNC. And then that same day, Russia begins hacking the DNC, then goes to WikiLeaks, and then WikiLeaks talks to Roger Stone, who then talks to Trump Jr., who then talks, who then we have Michael Flynn giving campaign information, and they're making memes from the troll farm. It's one big giant circle of things that are not great. And if this is true, what is being talked about here, and the fact that everybody's lying about it, that puts them in a compromised position. We are talking about some of the people who have the highest clearances in the United States are now compromised to Russia, because Russia has them. When they're lying to the FBI and they're lying to us and they're lying to Congress, Russia now has them, and they could have them on tape. They could have them, and Putin is known for taping his stuff. So there is a very good possibility that there's individual, like, blackmail tapes on Trump Jr., on the president himself, and I'll get to that in a minute, to Michael Flynn, who was our national security advisor. I want you to think about that. Jared Kushner, because Jared Kushner was in on that fake adoption meeting thing that was not a fake adoption meeting, and the fact that they won't answer questions about that, the fact that Trump Jr. would not go in and answer questions, the fact that Trump's questions were written and I can't recall or I don't remember, are all highly suspicious to me. I think that one of the biggest reasons they didn't find collusion was they couldn't fully investigate. It was obviously obstructed, but I'll get to that in a minute. But these are the people that are compromised by Russia, and he even said in his testimony that there is a possibility the president of the United States is compromised by Russia. The highest leader of the free world compromised by Putin. And if you know anything about Putin, Putin's going to use it. Putin is a very, very intelligent man. He's also a very sociopathic man, and he will do whatever it takes to win, including if you're playing chess with him, he's just going to shit all over the board and throw it and do something unexpected. It's just who he is. Okay? So now I want to talk about the testimony where they were talking about the Trump Hotel. They admit Trump lied about the Trump Hotel, and Russia knows it. Once again, compromising our president that way as well. Then you have the whole obstruction thing and his personal lawyer, where he tried to get his it's not even his personal lawyer, it's a White House lawyer, Don, I'm not going to be able to pronounce his name. I'll put it down in the description link below. But where he tried to get him to lie for him, where he tried to get him to falsify evidence, that is clear obstruction of justice. And the only thing saving him from being tried right now is the fact that he's a sitting president. You cannot try a sitting president. That is Congress's job. And Congress isn't doing their job. Nancy Pelosi is ticking me off. Now, I know we don't have the votes in the Senate to impeach. And I know Trump wants us to impeach him. And you're like, no, Trump doesn't want you to impeach him. Yeah, I think he does. I think that he would use that in his campaign. He would use that to fire up his base and ride that wave all the way into 2020. So don't think that if we impeach him, he would not use that to ride his wave all the way into 2020. Because he would. But I think that you could have had other ways to hit him and hit him hard. You've got his son, clearly violated, clearly lied. You've got Kushner lying multiple times on multiple security clearance forms. I'm sure that they've lied to the FBI. I mean, go after his family. Hit him where it hurts. Use your power. You are an equal branch to the White House. Use your power. Stop playing around and do your freaking jobs. And to Mitch McConnell, would you please stop covering for him and grow a spine? It is disgusting what you and Lindsey Graham are doing. Absolutely horrifically disgusting. You went from never Trumpers to so far up Trump's butt that you're coming out of his mouth. There's like two of you just going out of his mouth, and it's really freaking annoying. So can you grow a spine, pretend like you're actual politicians and do your job, or are you just going to be all of Trump's crap from now until eternity? I don't know. It's really annoying. It's also really late at night here, so I'm gonna cut this short. Leave down in the comments below if you want my actual like detailed notes on the thing, because trust me, if you really want to know what's in the Muller report, it's shocking. And I do plan on doing a video coming in the near future, but I just want to know if you guys actually want it. And I will see you later.